Okay, thank you so much. We're really excited to be here today at ProfCon, and we're really happy to be here. We have some really exciting information for you today. Um, See Larry's getting started on the slides here. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about why direct mail needs to be integrated into your digital curriculum and how you can do it. You can go ahead and advance to the next slide, Larry. And so this is a really interesting topic, and it's all about bridging that digital and physical gap. I'm Carl Boatner. I'm with the United States Postal Service as a product development specialist, working on this direct effects program, which is our academic outreach. We'll get into that a little bit later in the presentation. And Larry is going to bring you some great content about this topic on direct mail and integrating it into digital curriculum and kind of the ideas behind that. So I'll let Larry introduce himself.
So my background with the Postal Service actually dates back probably 25 years when I was in the agency world, and worked on a lot of clients. I'm starting from the bottom up, and I still work on a lot of clients in integrated marketing. So traditional print and stuff that we did 25 years ago was not me, but AARP, Amazon, McDonald's, and of course, US Postal Service, where 25 years ago, I did a lot of direct mail to promote the use of direct mail. Got hooked up back again with them recently for this direct effect program, and which grew out of my book, The Activation Imperative, that looked at how to integrate various marketing specialties together, how to drive people down the path to purchase, and how to address the ever ongoing fight from the beginning of marketing between brand versus building business. You can do both at once. This grows out of the direct effect campaign. The shift in our abilities to create mail that is as powerful as its digital cousin can put practitioners of programmatic mail at the forefront of the marketing profession. And I think I could show, I have a poll. Do you currently teach direct mail? And by the way, if you have stuff in the chat, and that's great to see. As you can see, you do. And so this is more designed as a high level thing. I do have the chat open, so if you have questions, please ask. So I'd like to start with a little video.
When your customer is about to make a decision, sometimes all it takes is a small yet smart nudge to get the green light. Because when you use digital data, you'll know exactly when to reach them through mail. That way, you can deliver the right incentive at the right time and help that customer make the right purchase.
Sorry about that. I'll go to this, and then I'll go. So the way mail is going, because of programmatic mail and informed delivery, There was the traditional where, broadcast and all that kind of stuff. And there's still, print ads and all that. And then the digital side with the mobile and the social and the digital desktop. And then there is the middle ground. So streaming radio, TV, that's Netflix, Hulu, and all that. And digital out of home. And mail is actually now in the center, where it's halfway in the traditional and halfway in the digital. And, in any direct mail campaign, even before that, you have to think about, getting the right message to the right place at the right time. To identifying the various paths to purchase. So no matter what, even if it didn't have programmatic and it didn't have informed delivery, you would still need to think about, how does this work with digital? And what the Postal Service has found in a lot of research is mail plus email plus website lift responses over individual channels alone by 37%. Digital plus mail increases engagement by 40%. Mail plus digital plus TV increases purchase intent. That makes sense when you think about it, because we are exposed to 6,000 ads each day. We pay attention to maybe 50 of them, and we remember probably 2 of them. But the benefit of mail is that 100% or near 100% of your mail gets looked at, because you got to decide, do I open it, do I read it, or do I put it in recycling? And so you do have a higher impact. And because of that, because it's tactile, because you hold it, it has better recall over longer periods. There's a deeper emotional connection, particularly when it's done with a little bit more brand in mind, where it's richer in feeling, and so it creates stronger brand associations. And research from the post office found that Gen Zers actually preferred receiving cards, letters, packages more, and makes them feel happier than receiving videos, calls, emails, and texts. So based on that, let's look at the different digital options within mail, and I'll turn it over to Carl.
Thank you so much, Larry. And one of these great ways that you can connect that digital and physical experience, and as Larry was talking to, there's a lot of value in connecting all of those channels together, because it's just multiple touch points for a customer. And what informed delivery is really all about is bridging that gap between the mailbox and then whether it be the phone, laptop, or other device. So I'll talk a little bit about what informed delivery is. So informed delivery is a tool that mailers can utilize if they register and do a little bit behind the scenes, where they can actually attach some sort of offer or like a custom URL so informed delivery in its core is about showing you what's in the mail when you receive it. So, or before you receive it. So you wake up in the morning, and what informed delivery does is it tells you what's going to be in the mail today. What am I going to receive in the mailbox when I wake up and I go, or later in the day when I go down there and check it. It gives you like a little bit of a sneak peek at what's coming in the mailbox. And so what people can do with that, what companies can do, is if they have offers associated with that mail piece, they can use informed delivery to promote them on a digital level through a digital touch point. So when people who have signed up for informed delivery, which is about 40 million subscribers who receive the email notifications through informed delivery, what happens is they'll get the image of their mail piece, and then above it, as you can see on this slide, they'll have an offer, a custom URL that they can go that ties directly back to that mail piece. So when they go up and they pick it up and they touch it later in the day, now they know, okay, this is about this offer. This is tangible, and they can take that mail piece, and now they've already associated it with this email, and then go and take advantage of that offer. form delivery is really great. About 27% of eligible households have already taken advantage or signed up for form delivery. The average email rate in general for just other emails, like your promotional emails that people are over inundated with, is about 18%, whereas the informed delivery email rate is about 65%. And this is a totally free to sign up for service. And it's really great for marketers to capitalize on and take advantage of. So we can jump to the next slide. So how are marketers utilizing informed delivery? So informed delivery, like I was saying earlier, is all about these touch points. So you have the email, you have the image associated with the mail piece, and then you have the ride along URL, what we call it. So it's all about communicating to customers or your target audience in various different ways. So you have that email, and then you have a URL to take them to, and the mail piece. So that's 3 touch points right there. And so whatever your offer or whatever you're providing to someone is getting a lot of exposure right off the bat. And because it has this digital component associated with it, it's a great way you can actually track the data behind it. You can track data on the custom URL that you've included in form delivery to see, okay, is this mail piece resonating with others? Is this something that's really popular with customers? So there's a lot of great data that you can utilize behind informed delivery. And this is only one of the great ways that you can bridge that digital and physical gap. So now I'm going to give it back to Larry to talk about another great way to utilize mail.
So the other way is programmatic mail. And we all, if we teach any digital, know about programmatic media buying, online, and other programmatic decisions. But with this technology, you can now retarget customers with personalized mail that gets sent within 12 to 24 hours of a digital interaction. It's 100% IP based, so there are no cookies, don't any have to worry about that. And so what it does is when you go online, it captures your IP address. It uses multiple data sources. There's so much information out there about everyone, unfortunately. And I know the Postal Service is very concerned about privacy issues, so won't go too deep into some of the stuff, but through the matching, through artificial intelligence and use of segmentation, and you could rank the prospects and where they fall in the likelihood to buy or purchase or to replace. So if it's a high-end item that they're looking at online and it comes from somebody that is in a high-end area that multiple sources indicates that that person has a high income in that area, they will generate the direct mail piece. If it's the same household even, but it's from a different IP that seems to be tied to somebody who is like the child who doesn't have the money, then it might not be sent. And as I said, you can send it within 12 to 24 hours. So it is really, really quick. And the thing is it works. So I already covered this about segmented and scored. And then performance then gets measured at the customer level. And the way it gets measured is you can do a good old A/B test where you go down your segmentation and you say this pool of visitors are likely prospects. So we're going to divide one into A and the other half into B of the likely prospects, and you can compare. Do they go and buy? Do they take the next step in the path to purchase? Is there other kinds of actions that they would want to take? And because of that, 68% of respondents who use direct programmatic mail reported an increase in website traffic, so repeats. This research by one firm that does programmatic mail, they found that it shortened the sales cycle by 10 days. They also were able to identify a lift in sales. So what will happen then is, and this gets into teaching, advertising, teaching, marketing, and all that, particularly within polished pieces and design. When you're doing a direct mail piece, the print end people like the highly polished communication piece. But now they have to start thinking just like programmatic advertising online, where you have to assemble on the fly and you put all the pieces together. You're going to have to start thinking, okay, how can we do templated thinking? How could we make it dynamic in that way? And so you need to start thinking about elemental pieces that form a cohesive whole. And so students have to start thinking in decision trees. Here are some options of headlines. Here are some options of visuals. And as it goes down the tree, how do they think? And that's going to change on how they assemble things and how they think through the processes of creating a piece of communication. So one piece of communication can have numerous different iterations when it becomes live. So that's programmatic. And then, so how do you start teaching this? And we did see a couple questions here, which we'll probably get to first. The research about Gen Z preferring cards and stuff comes from the Postal Service research. They do a lot of research into this, and it came from a Postmaster General report, which, if you'd like, I could send you where I got the link from that. But if you think about it, we're moving into a virtual age, and Gen Z is grew up purely digital. So anything analog tends to have a higher value. It becomes tactile, it becomes real. And so it makes sense that they want and enjoy and prefer mail. And you could do some really, really cool stuff. And so Carl also, is there a Canadian equivalent of informed delivery?
I'm actually not aware if there is a Canadian equivalent to informed delivery at Canada Post. That's definitely something I can look into and try to get back to you about, because it is such a great offering, and that we feel it's such a great tool for anyone to utilize, just because of all the advantages that it provides. And so, yeah, just to get into what Larry was talking about. And so we've talked about these great technologies and how they're integrated with the mail, with your informed delivery, with your programmatic mail. And so how do we teach that to marketers, or the next generation of marketers, or anyone who wants to utilize mail in any way? And so what we've done here is, and I'll talk to you a little bit about Direct Effect, and this is what we hope to do with the program, is teach about these resources, teach the value, and show how much value print can still have when used in conjunction with all these great technologies. And so Direct Effect it's really a program it's an educational program at its core, and there's various stakeholders. So we have the educators themselves, such as everyone, many of us here today, the industry. So this is just any business or any stakeholder really that is trying to capitalize on the use of mail. Students, this is the big one. The students are the future, and they're the future, and that's who's going to be utilizing these great technologies. They're going to be utilizing mail, and we feel that in combination, it's such a powerful tool. We may have a perception that mail might not be technologically advanced. It might be something that it's not as exciting, but in reality, with these modern technologies, it's still holds tremendous value. And as we've shown these numbers, it does create results. These are pieces that people pay attention to, like when combined with the digital channels. And so, like some of the advantages of these integrated, so Direct Effect really is teaching you about the advantages of the integration of mail and digital marketing through a variety of tools that we'll get into on the next slide. But with the role of digital technology and printing advancements. And so that's where we still need to always be on the lookout for the newest digital innovations and think about how can we combine them with the physical? How can we combine them with the mail to create a holistic omni-channel approach to what we like, whether you're selling something, whether you're just trying to communicate something, there's a lot of opportunity there. We also want to teach these students about the campaign creation itself. How do they go about implementing these technologies, utilizing the mail? That's something that we look to do. We hope to teach people about the mail, how it works at its core, and then after that, teach them best practices about the industry and applying it so that it's uniform, that it's something that's really accessible to people. And then finally, what we hope to achieve with the Direct Effect program is show these career paths in the marketing industry, the mailing industry, printing industry. Pretty much anything can be applicable to mail. Almost every industry can find a great purpose or great way to utilize the mail because of the power of these new tools. And so now, Larry, I think we can go into this next slide about what exactly we do with this Direct Effect program. So we have 4 key components, and I'll talk a little bit about each one of them. And this is how we spread the word about mail and the integration of these really great technologies. So the first component is e-learning and certification. So this is a series of courses that we offer, and they're really adaptable. That's the beauty of the Direct Effect program, is not only this e-learning component, but all 4 of these components are really adaptable, and you can plug them in as it works with you. There's some pieces that you may find useful. There's some pieces that you might not have the time to implement, but there's something for you always with this program. And with this e-learning certification program, this is a great way to promote experiential learning in the classroom. There's a lot of value in giving students real world experiences. And this is what the Direct Effect program can help achieve through some of these tools like the certification program. This is something that they can display to future employers. It's really a lot of value to a student. It's really a great way for them to learn and really apply what they're learning in the classroom. And so these e-learning certification programs, there are a variety of courses that we offer online, such as the fundamentals of integrated marketing, creating direct mail campaigns, kind of teaching them how they can go about utilizing the mail and technology, while also earning that great certification that can really help them advance in their career or even in their education. And the big component, or a great component of Direct Effects is the Direct Effect Innovation Challenges. So this is really where that real world experience comes into play. So this is typically one day learning event where a live client presents a problem to a group of students, and what these students are assigned. And so these students are assigned to teams. And so what happens then is these teams are assigned this marketing task or marketing problem for the client, and then they have to create a marketing campaign integrating both the physical with the mail and then the digital, and using various digital channels in combination with the mail to solve this problem. And this is another great way for these students to get real world experience, get exposed to clients and real world problems that they'll be solving once they move on and graduate or once they go into their career. Another offering that we have is the classroom speakers. So this is when an industry expert from both the mailing industry and who has some exposure to these technologies can visit the classroom and provide a refreshing presentation on how the US advertising market is and the role of mail in the advertising market. And so this is a great way for students to bolster their network and just learn more about how it's applied from someone who's doing that on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, we have the classroom tools, and this is probably the most adaptable of anything that the Direct Effect program offers. And so these are hosted on our website, and these are available for free. And that's something I should have mentioned earlier. All of this Direct Effects, everything combined with it, all the components, it's free and it's available for anyone to use throughout, and it's all available on the website. And so because we just see the value in the mail, we feel it's such a powerful tool for marketers. We want them to capitalize on it because we see the results when they're combining it with these digital channels. And so what some of these classroom tools are just anything. They're a variety of resources that really support the classroom learning experience, such as presentations, case studies, webinars. And as I was saying earlier, they're adaptable to a variety of situations that you can apply in your classroom just to suit the needs and kind of communicate other topics that you might be talking about in your classroom. Now we can move on to the next slide.
And if I could add one thing, the material on programmatic and informed delivery is going to be focused on in an upcoming e-learning certification program called Activating a Direct Mail Campaign, or Activating Direct Mail, which should be available in the fall. And there should be also presentation materials that you can download on that topic. So if you want to talk about informed delivery and programmatic that we explored briefly here today, you can do that as of this fall.
Yeah, and that's a really great point, Larry, because we're always looking to expand what we're teaching in these resources and in these variety of tools, such as our e-learning or even our classroom tools. We're always looking to innovate and provide the newest and most up-to-date information that we can to these students and professors. And so this is just a little bit of a display of what we've done so far with the Direct Effect campaign or initiative. And so we've had close to 1,000 students who have already received these certifications that they can display, whether it be on their resume, and help them in their careers just moving forward. They show that this is a unique expertise and it has a lot of value, and it's unique, it's something different, and really helps a student stand out. We have about 222 faculty members involved at a variety of colleges and universities across the country. You can see there we have over 140 colleges and universities involved in the program already, and we're constantly looking to expand that number and and get this material in front of as many people as possible. And we also have over 5,500 students participating in Direct Effect. So that number is continuing to grow to this day, and we're always looking to get more students involved with the program to learn about mail and how it's integrated in with these technologies. And so where can you find these resources and where can you get started on things such as the micro-credential courses, the certifications, signing up to ask for a classroom speaker, learn more about the upcoming innovation challenges, or even just downloading the classroom materials that you can utilize in a variety of different ways. So where you can find all this information is at directeffectinnovation.com, and you'll find all these resources hosted there. You'll learn updates about some of our most recent engagements with schools or universities, or some of our past challenges that we've completed. So it's a great repository of resources to learn more about the program itself, and then actually get involved with it and really help drive home this point about these new technologies or programmatic mail, informed delivery, and how they can work in conjunction with the mail and create value for businesses. Or even, I said it again, like, it doesn't have to be just businesses. This can be charities, it can be applied to so many different industries. It's just a really great way to increase engagement.
And so I guess now we're here to answer questions, discussion. What do you want to know? This was a high level on programmatic and informed delivery. in terms of marketing, which obviously can and should be integrated in with any other digital marketing. It is digital marketing. The video online that comes with informed delivery, email marketing with the notification that you're getting a letter or some mail, that's a digital opportunity. So, and then just creating programmatic mail that goes to houses.
Larry and Carl, we did have a request come in to know more about the single day experiential learning experience that you provide.
Carl?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one time?
Yeah, of course. We want to know if you could provide us more information about the single day experiential learning events.
Oh, sure. So the direct effect innovation challenges are they happen a variety of times a year. We're still kind of narrowing that down in the exact timing and how many we have each year. But how they typically work is they'll be hosted at a location, and they'll involve typically a client that we've reached out to that has a business need. And this can vary greatly. I know we've worked with museums in the past. We've worked with utility companies. So there can be a wide variety of clients involved. And so this client will work together. It'll be at a central location. And then I think there's typically about, I believe about 8 teams on each of these events, with a variety of students on each, with I believe 2 to 4 students on average on each team. And so they'll be working throughout this day and coming up with ideas for the marketing challenge that's been issued to them. And they'll present these ideas in front of the actual client. And so it's a really great way to get that real world experience and in a fast, in a quick environment. And it really helps you embrace creativity. And it's not just marketing students. I mean, there's a lot of great perspectives that can be found, like business students in general, but we've had a wide variety of students that get involved. And so it's all about finding a solution, utilizing both the physical and digital, and bringing it all together to create that omni-channel campaign, to maximize those touch points with the audience that you're trying to reach. So, and that's how those events typically go. And as information comes out on future events, we'd be happy to share that, and information on that will likely be posted on our website as it comes.
Any other questions?
While we wait for any other questions that might come through, is there a way that our educators can reach out to you guys if they're more interested in the program or just have questions for either of you directly?
For me, sure. They could email me at my Columbia email address, lminsky@colum.edu, LMINSKY @colum.edu. Happy to answer questions or send them on to appropriate people. And Carl, do you have?
Yes, so I'd be happy to also take any questions. And I did see a question actually to me in the chat about needing an EDU email address to get involved with some of the material on our website. And so, William, I will get back to you on that one. But if you would like to reach out to me, please, you can reach out to me at Carl, CARL .T, and I'll put it in the chat as well. So .T .Boettner, BOETTNER @USPS.gov. And feel free to email me at any time, and we'd be really happy to answer any questions or direct you to the resources that you need.
So we do have a couple questions in the chat. Carl, do you have any update on the federal privacy laws? I do not.
So at this time, I wouldn't have any anything to provide on that, Brett. In regards to privacy laws, I know that's a concern that's it impacts pretty much everything, and so especially with mail and connecting it to that digital. So we don't have any specific updates on that, Brett, but we'd be happy to look into that and see if we can provide an update, or at least where we're at from a postal perspective.
And on visiting a website, we all know the IP address. And so, that is usually trackable to an individual through Experian and other kind of data to figure out. Now, it's not 100% accurate. For some reason, when I visit a website, my wife's retargeted advertising on advertising on Facebook goes to my wife's Facebook. And when my wife is searching for something, the retargeted advertising goes to me, but it's pretty accurate knowing that that advertising is going on in the house. So that's going on in the digital world. This is just taking what is actually going on in the digital world by figuring out, okay, so it's just an IP address, so we're going to redirect it to be able to figure out who generally owns that address and extends it out to the mail world. And then question, have you tried working with a university's printing and mail department to create a project without an external client? Would they be open to that? Would you be open to that, Carl?
So I'm actually going to pass this question to my colleague, Ryan, who is also on this call, who supports us with that program, and he'd be happy to answer it.
Hi, all. I'm Ryan Newell. I work with Carl on the Direct Effect program. To answer your question, David, the answer is kind of. We do encourage faculty to kind of take up that competition model that we've used in our innovation challenges and deploy it at a classroom level, because it also does kind of the live client, develop an integrated campaign and present model does work very well in that format. We haven't specifically said, you could use your university as the subject of marketing, or say design a campaign for the university. But in our download section that Carl mentioned earlier of those classroom resources, we do have several sort of canned client challenges, including one that the folks at Cincinnati Bell worked with us to create. So they've basically recorded a few real world marketing challenges that they've encountered that faculty members can then take and use as the basis of an exercise without necessarily attending one of those innovation challenge events.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Larry, Carl, Ryan, I very much appreciate all of you being here today. Thank you so much. Everyone, please, I dropped the Direct Effect Innovation link in the chat, so feel free to check that out and download your free resources. I'm also dropping another link in the chat. Stukin has a lot of free marketing resources for our educators, so you can also schedule a demo with one of our course consultants to get access to